Hello and welcome. You're watching Hit the Streets with me, Steve G. This is a YouTube channel that's dedicated towards all things street photography. In this video, we're going to be breaking down Monday's street photography point of view based in Covent Garden. We're going to be pulling a couple of awesome images out of that point of view and having a little bit of a talk about them and why we like them. Right after this. So I've only photographed street photography in Covent Garden twice now, and both times it's actually been a really interesting and challenging place to shoot, simply because within the market itself, everything is so cramped. There's loads and loads of people around, and trying to frame up makes for a difficult challenge. Couple that with the fact that I'm trying to get some awesome, steady, beautiful POV footage, and it makes for a little bit of a difficult task, but I think it worked out really well in this video. Juxtapose that with the open, wide streets that encompass the exterior of the market, and you've got for quite an interesting street photo sesh. This was the second in my new style of videos with all my new fancy gear. So what you'll have noticed is that the point of view itself is a lot more steadier and a lot more clear than what it was before. And the video will have had a beautiful little intro just outside Covent Garden station where I chose to begin the session. So if you're enjoying these new videos, if you're enjoying seeing the technical prowess of these videos increase, then do hit the like button and do let me know in the comments below. So on to the photos themselves. I don't think there was really a bad photo in this bunch. I don't think many of them were spectacular either, but all of them told little, beautiful, tiny, intimate stories, from people stuffing their mouth with ice cream to people picking their nose, especially chefs, which is a little bit gross. But the first photo that I really liked in this session was actually a guy sitting between two pillars just on the exterior of the market. And he was actually just playing on his phone. But there was something quite interesting happening just behind him, which in the context of the framing of the photo starts to tell quite a funny little story. It was a security guard popping out from a couple of pillars behind, and he was radioing someone on his radio and looking quite suspicious. And the way that I framed the photo, it almost looks like the security guard is really suspicious of the guy that's sitting there right in front of him. The truth, in fact, couldn't be more different. There was actually an illicit film crew without a permit had set up just behind me to record some B-roll of the market, and the security guard was alerting one of his fellow security guards just to go over and ask them if they had a permit, and if not, shift them on. So that's what was actually happening. That's one of those things I really like about street photography. If the story is not there immediately, you can almost make your own little story just from the simple act of framing. Some other images that sort of pop out at my head was the young couple, the girl with the big smile on her face. I think that's a really beautiful little moment. And then you've got a lovely little Asian kid hanging on to her mum for dear life in the market, and that's just super cute. There were also a couple of images during this session that I chose to put in color, because that's something that some of you guys were asking for. Let me know if you prefer the color or black and white, or maybe even when I take the photo it initially starts in black and white and goes into color if I feel that it warrants it. Let me know which one you prefer in the comments below. Other photos to note on this session that I quite liked was that split-second moment where a gentleman lifted a gas mask to his face in the middle of the market and just sort of pretended to wear it for a split second, and I was lucky enough to be able to catch it. That is sort of a weird, rare moment that I think came across pretty cool. There was another photograph that I really like how it turned out in black and white because the lights in it are so great. It's actually the front window of a tea shop as a lady passes by, and I was able to capture her in that moment too. But perhaps my favorite photo of the session was at a jewelry stand just on the edge of the market. And if you watch the POV from beginning to end, you'll actually have seen me visit that location at the start of the POV. And then I come back almost full circle to see it again at the end. And I'm really glad that I did, because it was that end photo that really sort of did it for me. There's so many little elements going on in that photo. I really love the expression of the older lady's face. That's kind of a crazy expression. I'm not even sure what what she's even looking at in that moment, if it's the two girls that are playing with the piece of jewelry, or if it's something that someone else is picking up, or if it's something that she's just spotted. It's just one of those little elements that when you first glance at that photo, you may not even see it. You almost have to zero in on some of the subjects to kind of see what they're doing and what they're up to. But yeah, I mean, that one was pretty fun for me. And it sort of capped off what I thought was a pretty fun session overall. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If this is your first time here, please do subscribe. For those guys who have subscribed already, a massive thank you for following this channel. Please bear with me as things technically just go from strength to strength. There's a very, very interesting, very different style of POV coming next Monday, where I venture through the Barbican in search of some people in and around architecture, which is actually not one of my strengths to shoot, but I really like the photos that I got from that. So yeah, hit subscribe, hit like. I'll see you on Monday for that Barbican video, and do get out and about on the streets of London this weekend. Hit those streets and do take your cameras with you.